we are back here on the Zero Empty Spaces podcast, episode 12, with resident artist Lauren Deon, aka Lad the Artist on Instagram. You can find her at her BeachPlace location here on literally A1A in Fort Lauderdale, steps from the beach. If you didn't know about Zero Empty Spaces, we are arts advocates, community builders, creative problem solvers, creative entrepreneurs that came up with an initiative to activate vacant commercial real estate to make affordable artist studios at $2 per square foot on a month-to-month basis with water and electric included, which allows us to give artists like her the opportunity to have a portion of a retail space on a place like A1A, BeachPlace, for a few dollars a month. To find out more, you can log on to www.zeroemptyspaces.com. The point of the podcast is to connect you with the artists like her that make the program what it is, and we like to help tell the artists' stories from their studios so you can see and find out more about the creative process as part of our overall goal to hopefully grow the appreciation for the arts and the artist community. So with that being said, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself at a high level and how you initially got started in the arts?
Well, I'm Lauren. I go by Glad. How I started in arts. I've always been into art. I feel like that's every artist. And then it takes a while for you to actually claim it. You know, when you have to be like, of everybody, yes, I'm an artist. It's a big stigma. Like, if you don't sell art, you're really an artist kind of thing. So, I guess with college, like, that's when I decided, like, I'm going to pursue this. So I was going to school for criminal justice, and I was sitting in one of my classes, and I was just listening to everything the teacher was talking about, and I knew everything, what they were saying. And I'm sitting in a classroom of like 400 kids in an auditorium, and I just literally was like fantasizing about being like pursuing it, being an artist, and doing what I wanted to do with that. But still fighting that battle, being realistic. Like, I need money, but I'm not a known artist, so how do I make this work? So I just got up from the class, got my stuff, and just walked out in the middle of the lecture, went to the dean, and I was like, yeah, I want to drop out. And they all asked some shit. They were like, what do you mean you want to drop out? I'm like, I don't want to drop out of college, I just don't want to be grim, I want to go to art school. So then I went to art school, switched over. I did a semester, and there's some two pieces you guys will see that I created there that kind of started it all. And kind of also, what's the word, like, I didn't realize things that I like to do as an artist that I would never actually like that. Like, what's the word?
Multidisciplinary?
No,
Multiple disciplines?
like how that's like multiples, like,
A triptych, multiple pieces, multiple dimensions, multiple layers.
I cannot think of the word. Like, it's like repetition. Oh my god, repetition.
Okay.
Like, it's like the same image, repeating, symmetry.
Okay.
I never thought I liked that. I always thought I hated it. I was like, oh, I don't like that. I want it to be off-centered,
Sure.
not the golden rule and all that. And that's not at all what happened. I actually like repetition. I like symmetry. I like very like fine lines for that style.
And that's when you discovered that in, was it, which school were you at?
At FSU. And it was in the 2D class. So I was enrolled in 4 different art classes. Well, 2 like prereqs and then 2 studio classes.
Okay.
And one of them was 2D. I wish I could remember this artist, the teacher's name, because she literally opened up my mind.
You might have to look that up later.
I'm gonna have to. She's
We're
actually
gonna send this to her.
Yes.
Former FSU professor.
She's actually, well, she's still there. And
Okay.
she's actually like a reputable artist. Like, she does soft sculptures.
It's just, she was just drawing a blank with your name. Obviously, she remembers you.
Yeah.
And she will send you an email with this later, and we'll get a great trouble. So tell us a little bit about your work and a little bit about your process.
So I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I work with different mediums. So these are the pieces I was talking about that I made in that one semester at FSU in my 2D class with a teacher who literally expanded my brain with the assignments. So I used to be, I feel like, very rigid. I needed a detailed description of what they wanted. I'm like, what do you want from this assignment? And she literally would just go up and be like, okay, bring a photo and make a collage out of that photo. So if I showed you this one right here, this photo right here was me holding myself, like my hand, and then out of that one little image, this happened. This is specifically talking about immigration. This I made in 2017, the two of them. So out of this image, somehow my mind went into this whole like explosion of, oh, I want hands going all around, and these are all individual. Like they're all paper that I took an X-Acto knife and like cut them each out. This took me probably like, I think like 18 hours. And then I took the X-Acto knife and I do paint with emotion. Lately I haven't, but when I was doing these, like I was just feeling some type of way about the immigration and what was happening in the ban on Muslim countries. So if you read closely, like some of these are talking about that, and other of the newspapers are talking about the NBA. Because I don't like to be
I was gonna ask you what some of the. I always love when people use text, especially if it has like some type of context.
Yes.
So is this text as purposeful, and what were you going for with text?
So it's like 50-50. Like I don't want to be super literal, but I wanted to kind of like, let's say that person who I like everyone to think of their art how they want to. Like they see this, maybe they saw something completely different than what I made. That's totally fine. But maybe that person who saw exactly why I made this might see some validation in a little piece that talks about that band. And then right here, these words are saying no access. So these little, I'm kind of over the place right now, but these two arrows are pointing this way because they want in, but we're saying no.
And what is your, if you don't mind me asking or telling the audience, what is your heritage and background?
I'm Cuban Dominican, so Cuban from my mom's side and Dominican from my dad's side.
And proud of it.
And of course I am. Yo soy Latina. I actually grew up in Santo Domingo, so I was 10.
And you also spent some time growing up in
Santo Domingo.
And then after that?
After that, I came here, lived here for 9 years, and I lived in Texas, where it's a huge Mexican culture there. And I really learned to appreciate it. I can do the little grito. Any of you guys who are Mexican? Yeah, catch me one day, buy me a shot of tequila.
Hey.
I'll do the grito for you.
There you go. Okay. Might have somebody take you up on that. What else do we got here?
So now this is my recent works.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
So when I first got the studio, since this is a month-to-month kind of program, which is perfect for artists, because you never know where your money's coming the next month, I was like, for 30 days, I just want to be in here every day and just pump out work. And I always had this like obsession about learning how to draw figures, but I never took a figure drawing class. And I just decided, fuck it, let me just do it. So this was the first piece I made when I was here. And then I didn't look at a reference, I didn't look at anything, I just did it.
Amazing. And what materials are used here?
So this is charcoal. The paper itself is from Home Depot. It's what the painters use to put on the floor.
It is.
It's a huge roll. Show you.
Here's the rest of the studio.
This is this big old roll. I knew I wanted to do large pieces when I got in here, especially with all the space. And I was trying to figure out how to set this up to paint with this. So I'm like, oh, why not put little command strips?
There you go.
And then just hang it up there.
Amazing. This is one of the better setups that we've seen in Zero Empty Spaces for hanging paper canvas. A lot of artists use traditional stretch canvas, and this is, I obviously not the traditional method, but this is a more traditional method that generally artists in previous generations and previous movements would roll canvas or stretch canvas and paint massive like this. And it's really encouraging to see somebody like yourself at this stage of your career and only growing, working at this level. So we're very happy to have you. So tell us a little bit about what having a space outside of your house to create in your Zero Empty Spaces studio has done for your work so far.
It's let my creativity just literally explode. So working at home or in an area where you have to clean up after every time, because I'm not going to leave a whole mess in my house, right? Because we consider it one of my roommates. So that stopping of like that creativity is really detrimental. Like it literally kills everything. Because then I'm like thinking about, I work a So I get home from work and I'm like, I'm gonna take this stuff out and I'm gonna reset. What color did I use? And this and that, and like get back into it. And usually, like when I come to the studio, it takes me about 45 minutes to start getting my groove. Because I get in here, kind of unwind, you just kind of get in that headspace. But at home, you like, by when that 45 minutes is over, then you're like, like
Right.
let me do laundry, let me go do this, let me go do that.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, I'm doing ADD to the max. So being in the studio, like when I first moved in here, I only had this little guy and I'm like, oh, I have so much space. I was about to share it with someone. And within 4 days, I was like, I have to take back my words. Because I went to the art studio, which I found a new one called Jerry's Art Drama. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
I've been looking for an art studio that's like that.
Art supply store.
Art supply store. Not like a Michael's or Hobby Lobby, like that.
The good stuff.
When I walked on the aisle, the first time I went there, I had to go in and out. When I saw they had a whole aisle of individual pencils, I knew, I'm like, this is the one.
Their canvases are like a better quality.
It's insane.
Their paints are a better quality.
And
It's a better quality.
It's better quality and super affordable. I mean, every artist knows art, it's expensive, art materials. But the one in Miami is a wholesale one. So depending which one I'm closer to, like they have a canvas that's literally like this size for $45. Like it's
Stretched?
Yeah, stretched. Staple, done. $45.
That's insane.
I couldn't believe it. I was like,
And if for those that maybe aren't artists that are listening and thinking about this, when we were just talking about this, and to paint a picture about the creative economy, and something that we like to talk about. When an artist goes to the art supply store to purchase more paints, brushes, canvases, varnishes, accessories, that money is proven to stretch $1 for $9 spent into the creative economy is the economic impact of what the arts can do for communities, for economies, so that she can continue pursuing her craft, her creative outlet, her passion, her purpose. The art supply store can stay in business so that they can continue supplying the supplies that are necessary for the local artists in their community to create art. And we can say whatever we want about Michael's, Michael's.
yeah, I'm not trying to shut it down.
No.
For someone, you need that.
Michael's has become like the Walmart of art supply
Yes,
stores, and Jerry's is kind of like the Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, it's just so specific. Like I just recently went.
But not the prices.
Not prices, no.
But the quality is like Whole Foods.
The quality is excellent.
For those that like, and then that don't realize, like, okay, if you're an aspiring emerging artist, established or otherwise, and your budget for art supplies is limited. You have to make the best use of your art supplies. So if you can stretch that little bit of budget 9 times, that you artists are contributing to the economy even in a pandemic.
100%. And the good thing, last thing about this product, like how they sell everything individual. Michael's and Hobby Lobbies is catered to
3-2-1.
So everything is packaged there, so you're limited as an artist. Like let's say you only have $10 and you want, as an artist, you have different things going on in your head. So you're like, oh, I need spray paint, I need this specific color pencil, I need like these, like almost like a la carte, but you have $10, right? So you go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that, and then the pencils are $8.99 for shit colors that you're like, but it has that one, but the rest of them are shit. But I only have $10, right? So like Jerry's Arama, when I saw that every color pencil was individual, I knew like everything was gonna be like that. So I can literally make my own shit. So like those paints, I just wanted those 3 colors. So I end up saving money that way. So a lot of people say Jerry's Arama or something like that. Oh, it's expensive. What do you mean? This pencil is 30 cents. You just need that one.
And
you saved yourself $7. What do you need?
And it's good quality, so you don't have to buy 2 of the one that was potentially more.
Exactly.
And then waste. This was a free advertisement for Jerry's Armor. If Jerry's Armor would like to sponsor artist supplies, which we previously discussed at the beginning of Zero to Spaces, we would be glad to circle back and have the discussion about how we can put Jerry's Armor products
I'll put it everywhere.
in artists' hands so that artists can actually market as influencers that they are. But that's another conversation for another day. If they want to see how amazing your Instagram stories are from a visual storytelling perspective, you're doing a killer job. Where can they find you on Instagram?
Lad_the artist. So LAD_the artist.
Okay.
And you will, the first pictures you'll see is this stuff, so you'll know that's me.
And no fault of your own. No art website at the moment, but as we just discussed offline, we have templated solutions that we've developed for the artists. That the artists, you have to pay to host the website, you have to pay for Weebly and GoDaddy, but we are going to start making those things available as an additional perk and benefit of being a Zero Empty Spaces resident artist, in addition to this podcast from her studio that we don't charge the artists for, in addition to reposting all of your Instagram stories that you tag us in to our art-based followings and our syndicated other art-based social media accounts, like Choose 954, like Art Fort Lauderdale. We're now able to help an artist, aspiring, mid-career, however you want to consider it, developing, hopefully reach the next stage of your career. And I think you've already, in the short period of time, how long have you been here?
It'll be a full month.
In 1 month per work, we've witnessed through Instagram alone and doing studio visits has literally transformed into a multidisciplinary practice with I mean, you're really starting to impress me personally, so kudos to you.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Anything else you want them to know?
So I'm really big on this mentality that you really can do what you want to do and not to let certain aspects of life limit you, like money. That was a big one for me. So I am in a position right now where I can afford to do a studio, so I was like, why the fuck not? Like I can do it, I can afford it, I want to explore and create and do this. So I push that a lot, that mentality through like on my Instagram. Like if I just keep talking about that over again, like do it, whatever it is for you, like whether it's skateboarding, whether it's, being an NFL player or just being a multi-millionaire, whatever it is. Like I don't do this for money, I literally do this because I wanted to create.
Purpose.
Yeah, I wanted just to create. Like it would be amazing if I got a career out of this, but I don't even see it like that. Like I have people walking in here asking, oh, how much for that? And I'm trying to also let go of money. So I literally look at them in the eye and like, whatever you feel that's worth.
Here at BeachPlace at 218 South Fort Lauderdale, 17 South Fort Lauderdale Beach Boulevard, Suite 218, next to what was Lulu's Bay Shack. Here at the Thor Equities managed BeachPlace Fort Lauderdale location at the Marriott BeachPlace Towers. We want to give a big thanks to Thor Equities, who's been a phenomenal managing partner who did make this space available for us. With a big thank you to Sarah Spurlock, Nighttime Economy Manager for the City of Fort Lauderdale, who's connected us with multiple spaces now in the great city of Fort Lauderdale. So we want to thank Sarah Spurlock, Commissioner Steve Glassman, Mayor Dean Trantellis, and the city commissioners, Ben Sorensen as well, and his wife Anna, that do support the arts here in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County. This is the arts in Fort Lauderdale and Broward County right now. There are many people that are doing many good things, but we can tell you with the utmost sincerity and the utmost certainty that artists like this, in a pandemic, are still creating, still pushing the needle forward, still reinventing themselves, still discovering new mediums and practices, and evolving and growing and working on their Instagram and marketing themselves and getting podcasts done in their studios to help tell their story, to help show their process, to help grow their career. You don't have to sit there at home, no disrespect to the people that do, because I like to sit at home as well, being a diabetic with compromised immune system. I'm considered with COVID as well, but you don't have to sit at home and say, woe is me. This is a safe, affordable space for her to create in outside of her house. As she mentioned, now she knows when she gets in her car to drive to BeachPlace, she's going to work and create in this space, which is just such a blessing that we're able to provide for yourself and other 50 plus artists. But we're really glad, we really are glad and proud to support an independent artist like yourself, pursuing your passion, pursuing your purpose. If it's a profession or not is really irrelevant to us. You want to make art, here's a place to make art, and to your point, and giving her a shout out, all you need to do is just start.
Yeah, 100%.
So follow her. Any questions, email info@zeroemptyspaces.com. I'm Evan Snow, at Evan Snow 13, at Choose954, at Zero Empty Spaces, at Art for Lauderdale. Working on some more spaces in the state of Florida. I'm very excited by the time that we record the next podcast. We should have confirmed our first out-of-state Florida location, which is going to be a very, very, very exciting step for Zero Empty Spaces. Andrew Martineau, my partner, his wife Frances Martineau, and myself, Evan Snow, cannot tell you guys how genuinely appreciative we are of you caring, tuning in, listening to this point in the podcast. This is how we grow community. This is how we grow creativity. This is how we grow the creative economy, by doing things like this and supporting artists like her, and supporting artists like her, and supporting artists like her. This is how we make an impact. So kudos to you. Keep up the good work. Let us know. We'll continue to come back and help as much as we can. And we look forward to seeing you at Zero Empty Spaces grand opening in the future when events are safe to have. Any questions? info@zeroemptyspaces. www.zeroemptyspaces.com is the website. And if you have a property that you would like to have activated at no cost to ownership, reach out and we're glad to discuss it. Cheers.